Hello, my astrology friends and family. This is Lada from astrolada.com. And today I'm honored to have one of my teachers, Esoteric initiate and master astrologer, Filipov, here with me. Hello, Filip.
Dear Lada, it's so great to be together with you again and to analyze what's happened in our cosmos, what will happen in near future, and to announce super important event, the fact that I invite you to become one of the major lecturers in one of the greatest conferences now worldwide. This is the fifth European conference, which now is organized through our initiative in Greece, because Greek astrological tradition is one of the greatest. Let's we say together what will be your lecture, because I think from all lectures which I organized with my friend Thomas Gazis, one of the great astrologers in Greece, that your lecture especially is one of the super important points in the whole 3-day conference, which will be accessible from everywhere in the world, because it will be Zoom event in internet. I think you will explain one of the most important situations worldwide. But please explain what will be your lecture.
Thank you first for inviting me. It's an online conference, guys. You can watch it. It's very affordable. There, I feel a bit daunted because they're just like big names of astrology there. They're scholars of astrology. And I decided to talk about it's not just astrology, it's esoteric knowledge, and it's something that's been predicted by master initiates, Rudolf Steiner, being Saduno in the Bible as well, for the coming of so-called Antichrist or the beast, or as Rudolf Steiner calls it, Ahriman, the incarnation, physical incarnation of a being of a much higher evolution of humanity. And I'm going to look at the transits and cycles, current ones, and future ones that are coming in relation to this prophecy, because I have seen a sign that these processes of the incarnation and the rule of the so-called Antichrist or Ahriman over the world is starting. And I would explain there, for me, the conjunction of Jupiter-Saturn that happened in 2020 at the very end was happening. If you look at the constellation, it was the head of the the head of the goat, even though it happened in Aquarius, 0 degrees tropical. Sidereally, if you look behind, it was like the goat with its 2 horns, and between the 2 horns, Jupiter and Saturn merged to look like one star. And that's exactly the symbol of many esoteric and especially more satanic kind of schools and practices, was the horned beast with the star on top. And for me, these processes for the incarnation and the rule of Ahriman, they started with this conjunction. It's 20 years long. And just like Rudolf Steiner initiate says that within very early, within the 3rd millennium, this being, Ahriman, will be given rule over the world. And it's only becoming possible now that one human, one organization can have control over the whole of the world. And it's my strong belief and feeling that this was the sign that within the next 20 years, which is the cycle of Saturn Jupiter, that happened exactly at this specific point in the sky, forming the symbol of the goat with the star on top, will initiate this within those 20 years. This will happen. And I'll speak specifically about each different transits can manifest, because the light forces and the dark forces use the manifestations of the constellations, of the stars, of the planets. And I'll pay attention on especially the coming Saturn-Neptune conjunction, which will be happening in the sign of Aries constellation of Pisces. And also the Uranus-Saturn one that will come in a few years after that, 2032, I think. And the coming cycles, how within this 20-year cycle of Saturn-Jupiter, And we see it has started already. The push towards one world government is going. It's called globalism. It entered in full force from 2020, basically, with COVID and with this conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius. But each important cycle has very high vibration and very low. The dark forces can use this cycle, of course, to implement one world government and by digital prism, which is starting to happen. Aquarius, the sign where it's happening, is controlled through, of course, observation through any kind of technologies and so on. But of course, there is a high manifestation that the light forces can also use for each astrological cycle. For the Jupiter-Saturn one, of course, that can be bifurcation of society. I've always noticed when Aquarius is activated, sign, constellation, or era of Aquarius, humanity starts splitting and evolution speeds up. And that's based on the lectures of Filipov that are based on Rudolf Steiner, that I've noticed he looks back to Atlantis, to Polarian, Hyperborean times, and always during ages of Aquarius was when the more evolved split through the less evolved consciousness, like the teachers complete certain level of initiation while others start lagging behind. There's always in the Aquarian times, which we are in, this starts happening. And of course, we're on the verge of the age of Aquarius, and this bifurcation will be happening more and more, this kind of separation of humanity. But of course, there is high vibration, the community brotherhood. But I'll speak about all the new cycles that are starting, Saturn, Neptune, what it can bring, that the lower Riemannic forces will use, what events worldwide will create. And when Uranus going into Gemini, how it will be used by the lower forces and how it will be used by the higher forces. Pluto in Aquarius, how it will be used by the lower forces for the Ahriman and one world government and control of the population, how it will be used by the higher forces. And there'll be a lot of world predictions or forecasts, let's say, that I will be doing. It's very esoteric, but it's also very practical. And of course, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto are entering male signs, and they'll be in a very harmonious aspect. So there'll be some amazing gifts for humanity, because for 2, 3, 4 years almost, they'll be sitting like something, a form called bisextile, Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune in male signs, but female constellations behind. And we'll speak how this can be used by the light forces and how this will be used by the dark forces. So you can be aware and you can put your energy in the right place, because as I said, bifurcation, splitting of humanity into is starting to happen more and more, and you have to define yourself and you have to be very aware, not about love, light, peace, everything is good. If I don't pay attention to this, just look at the light, only light will happen. No, God calls us at those times. Be as awake as possible. So big alertness, and we'll speak about those things. So that will be my topic. I gave you a little preview, but now I want to give the word to Filipov with some incredible omens that he saw in November and that are coming in December, and that are foretelling some epochal events ahead.
Before I enter in these concrete details, I wish to add a little bit information. I'm super happy that you will explain all this deep concept, how the esoteric tradition of astrology form the development of a social and spiritual life of humankind. And I wish to tell you that yes, we are in very difficult situation, but the omen of the explanation from the several tradition, we know that this negative force wish to try to repeat what happened with Jesus Christ, to put the people in one illusion that okay, God is again on the earth. This will be somehow the temptation to the humankind. And this alertness now is super important, because only with spiritual, esoteric, true tradition of Christianity and great other traditions, we have ability on the global level, united not in the one global government, but united into the archives Michael and into the second coming of Christ, not out there into the outer world, but in ourselves, into different levels of our society, into sciences, into arts, into social life, into our attitudes towards others, into our thoughts, in our feelings. This is the divine moment, which is so bright that it is not possible the coming of Ariman to overcome the second coming of Christ, which is the most important event now. And this bifurcation for which you explain is happening exactly on these two very important events, which we are not only watchers, so how to say, people that watch what's happened on one scene, but we are actively working souls into this reality. From each of us, everything depends. The destiny of our nations, of our cultures, of whole humankind and whole planet depends from us. Where will be our concentration? Onto the second coming of Christ in ourselves, in all people on the world which are ready for this, or into the other situation. And when through one astrology development, how you are so deeply prepared in these situations and topics, we know the case, we exercise, we analyze the situation, we see what cosmos gives, we have the, how to say, one of the best preparation for the cases. And exactly what you say, this 20 years, it is very important period of time. Why? Because we have here one major explanation, the period of time of 1998 and 1999, where this period 1998, it is triple time the number of the beast. Maybe in this period of time was conceived one negative person physically, which was born or around of the solar eclipse of 1999
That was
in
in Europe.
August.
And
Yes,
even
which
the master says he'll be born in a important family in Europe, in a aristocratic family in Europe, or something like that, or some very
yes.
like ruling family.
And strangely, Steiner says Anglo-Saxon situation, like a case, and he strangely but very interestingly used this famous name John Smith. Okay, this is very very interesting. Is this only symbol or not? This is very interesting. And because they will try to repeat the process of Jesus and Christ coming into the body of Jesus, uh, this means that the person should be around 30 years. But there is a hypothesis here, two possible esoteric points of view. One of them says, okay, because this is the dark forces, these are the dark forces, they do not have ability fully to repeat. That's why the person should stay a little bit older, around 40 years, for example, not 30. Other perspective, it says, no, they will try exactly to repeat the process. That's why we have one period of time between 30 and 40 years after 1999 around. This is very important. And when we synchronize the process, how you exactly astrologically explain, we have a little bit much more detail. But I wish to say here that one of the major cycles happened into May 2024. And I'm sure you will study this process very detailistic because, for example, on 16 or 8 of May 2024, we have one super conjunctions Jupiter, Uranus, Venus, Sun, and Moon in one moment. This is a very important process which push the light in how to say, in all people, in all humankind, and this is happening very importantly into one situation where you will have how to say, um, interesting situation. This is very close to the Pleiades, the ancient planes of wisdom, of secret esoteric knowledge, of astrology, of course, from the Sumerian Babylonian point of view, where this part is not so positive because their culture ends around this moment where the spring equinox was around this place of the sky. But for the other cultures, this is a very important divine place where it is explained by how to say, into the Bible too. Watch the one with big O, which create the Pleiades and Orion. This is the cosmic man. This is Christ, which have the galactic consciousness, and his cells are the planets and stars. This is written directly in the Bible. And now we see very important situation that in 2024 there will be super bright, powerful new cycle between the planet of astrology and the planet of the spiritual development, the teachers, the truth into the reality, the new level of moral development of humankind. And this new conjunction, I'm sure you will explain much better into your lecture, which will be very important from spiritual point of view, because we should grow from the how to say, from the everyday consciousness into the expanded archetypical spiritual and cosmic consciousness, to be prepared to be part from the second coming of Christ, and not to be connected with the other dark forces doings, and to help to much more possible, like a number people, to grow in this process, because this it's directly explained by Master Peter Dunov and Ben Saduno and Rudolf Steiner, that the situation depends from us, from our doings, from our thoughts and feelings, what we do practically in society with the help of all others. That's why all this concept, from very practical way, you will be explained on this worldwide how to say, scene, where the scientific level, the spiritual level of esoteric astrology will be expressed so well by you, and of course by other very prominent lecturers and leaders of modern day astrology all over the world. Practically, these are one unification of the, how to say, uh, the most important traditions in astrology. But this year we will have again one guest from Persia, from Iran, which explained very interesting lectures, lecture about deeper level of astrology. Very prominent lecturer from England will speak too, and of course a lot of friends which already have many lectures on the first, second, third, and fourth conference will speak too. But let me go.
Oh, just to repeat, it's online, guys. You don't have to travel to Greece. I don't know how much the tickets cost, but it's 15, 16.
Only 30 euro if you have the people
3 days.
register till the 5th of December is only 30 euro. After the 5th of December till the beginning of the conference, it is 40 euro for 3 days. This is the whole price. And this is one of the differences what we do practically. You go to one conference and the price is very, very high. This is not our way. We wish to say the divine high level of knowledge is priceless. We only put a small price only to have ability to organize one normal conference. And the datums are 15, 16, or even 17 of December. And with Lada, we will put the program into this video, and of course the link where people have ability to register, and all people that have this ability will get special access to the conference when it will start. And I wish to announce that in this conference there will be one historical event for the first time in humankind, where the whole astrology will be changed forever. And this is our doing together, Lada, with you and all others lecturers, that we wish to help maximum people to grow in their consciousness in these epochal times in which we live now. Okay, let me explain a little bit what's happened now in November and what will happen in December, to see the perspective, because each day practically the cosmos gives so much omens that it's unbelievable. For the second time in my personal life, I saw something so amazing, so great, which was so rare, like a process. And hopefully I succeed to make a picture of it. And I hope the situation have ability to be visualized, only to prepare the situation. But what's happened exactly? The situation was very, very strange, because I was prepared for something, but the situation happened by new way, which makes me in situation where I do not wait for this. I do not was prepared for this, and of course the process. Let I share the situation. The process happened into the, how to say, into the moment where into the whole world we saw very strange case. On the 5th of November, there was a really powerful magnetic storm, which of course it's happened between relationship between sun and the earth. But in this natural process, they put one unnatural human influence, and this is practically the situation where the heart system officially make an experiment to produce very strange lights into the earth situation in during one process of the really magnetic storm. But they put a lot of energy to produce very strange colors in this. Okay, this was the moment where we saw the negative forces, how they try to push the whole humankind, the development of etheric world of the earth in one wrong direction. And this is really very problematic case. Of course, the next situation was the fact that I was prepared for one eclipse of the Venus energies on the skies through the moon on the 9th of November. But what's happened practically in this datum? We watched from all over Bulgaria. Several people watched the sky carefully, and we saw that Venus was practically visible the whole day, from the rising of Venus, then through the rising of the sun. She was so bright that it was visible on the sky with pure eye, with clean eye. And then she grows and grows like a hive. And in one moment, she was visible in the moment of culmination of the sun, which was super bright moment. I saw this for the second time in my life. First time it was on Rila Mountain, the sacred place where the esoteric divine ideas of Christianhood grows into one school in the mountains, in the school of Master Peter Danuf. In there, we, with many people, we saw this, how Venus is rising, culminating, and then setting before the sun, and visibly whole day. And now we see this for the second time in our life. And strangely, in the day of this super bright visibility of Venus, we saw how Moon eclipsing Venus. And in this process, it is super important to know that each time when we have planetarian eclipses, or how it's called, occultations by moon or sun, we have very big extremum in the influences of Venus. And practically, here you may see one picture where this dot here is practically visible Venus, and this is the moon just before the eclipse. And when the eclipse of Venus happen, in this situation, extremum means powerful maximum or powerful minimum with Venus energy. And it is super important to see if Venus will appear after the eclipse and will be visible too. And hopefully, Venus was visible with pure eye before the eclipse. Of course, not visible during the eclipse. And after the eclipse, Venus was again well visible by simple eye. And this is super important omena, because what to say? This is super bright Venus. This means powerful energies of love, powerful energy of womanhood, powerful energy of beauty, and divine forces of Venus, which is practically develop our humankind to grow into ability to understand what is love, how to understand love on higher levels. And in this process, when Venus is super bright, sky, this means the consciousness of God, the word of God, show to us that we should be very prepared for when Venus is super bright and powerful in love, she will be eclipsed by some, how to say, materialistic or Luciferian forces, and then she will grow up and she will go through this eclipse and will be visible again. This means her visibility, her power, her energy, the energy of love, beauty, womanhood, and everything creative, and everything connected with arts will, how to say, will go through the situation and will win the battle, because Venus will stay bright. She will not, how to say, dissipate into the darkness. This was very important omen, which showed to us that in future months, maybe around 1 year, there will be important situation where the womanhood energy, the love energy into humankind, the heart into man, which are Venus energetically connected, and the attitude and doings of women, and the spiritual development into direction of love, and higher dimensions of love, will grow, will become super powerful. Yes, the dark forces wish to, how to say, to eclipse this process. This will be one task, one examen, especially towards women, especially towards hearts of the men, especially towards young girls which are especially, how to say, connected with Venus. Venus, from the moment when one girl become a little bit like a small woman, she become beautifully attractive girl, till the moment when the woman is brightfully powerful in her beauty, all these years, around 30 years or more, all women are connected deeply with Venus. They are Venuses on the earth. And when Venus is super bright into the day, this means that this is so bright, powerful spirituality and power of love that will be visible to everyone in this world, in this reality. And in this situation, the womanhood energy should spread out everywhere in the world, should work with love and beauty and divine ideas to touch the soul of this humankind and the whole earth. And when the task and examine come, the eclipsing come, this will be a very big struggle and how to say, situation with when suffering is possible. But in this moment, all humankind, especially men, should help women to go through these negative influences of dark forces, and then they will grow again super powerfully after this eclipsing situation. This is one interpretation of, I think, next 1 year around. Yes, Lada?
I was wondering because Venus also symbolizes, especially in those times, peace and agreement between people. And it's so
Yes.
important, like we're on the verge of a third world war, it looks. This omen shows, yes, this can be eclipsed for a little bit, but eventually, maybe through the intervention of women, maybe through the intervention of other Venusian means like peace negotiations and agreements, it will be overcome, the situation. Can it be also interpreted this way?
Yes, I think this is the interpretation, but exactly in this period of time, something other happened, which was very interesting. These people which are following my Facebook channel, Filipov.astrolog, and AstroFilip page, they saw that several hours before the new war conflict between Palestine and Israel, I explained publicly that in the cosmos there are so dangerous situations which produce the most negative events worldwide for the humankind. And several hours after this, the conflict starts. This was again one mind-blowing prognosis. Of course, this situation, I wish to say, the Jewish government in Israel, they are very aware about astrology. They always use very special astrological phenomena to work about cases like this. Of course, the conflict is so deep and so problematic, but I think this again will be one short conflict. That's why the case here is not so problematic. I think the Israeli government, it is not so crazy to produce motive for the Third World War. What will be one motive for this? For example, they know that they wish to produce and to build the third temple of the Israel. This is very important phenomena, which is deeply connected with all these topics that you will explain onto your lectures. I will not go deeper now. But there is one problem. The mosque Al-Aqsa, and it is very special place there where the temple should be. And Israeli government, they try to negotiate with the whole Musulmanic people to go peacefully in this direction. But exactly in this moment, Hamas attacked, of course, to destroy these negotiations. And One possible variant negative is this Israeli government start to, in one moment, to build their third temple. And if they touch a little bit only the mosque Al-Aqsa, with the idea for destroying or making problem there, this will be really the motive for the Third World War. And this is very serious problem. And I'm sure that Israeli government do not wish this, because 1 billion around people all over the world are Musulmanic people, and they do not wish the sacred place of Mohammed to be touched by any way. But the positive situation is when Israeli government, after this conflict, they find some way for peaceful development. And the predictions of the tradition says that exactly in this period of time, the negative person, the Antichrist, will try to produce one, in brackets, peace through the nations, and to establish himself like a religious leader of the all. This will be the temptation situation. And that's why we live now in very important time where we should know when the third temple will be built, because with the building of the third temple is deeply connected with the process of the what you explain. And in this situation, Venus shows that women and love and beauty and the divine force of the womanhood, the cosmic woman, in all women, because all women are presence of the divinity of love, the heart of God. It is the cosmic woman, the divine idea for how to say life in the whole universe, the beloved one to all beings. This is the goddess of love, the heart of God. She projects herself onto the earth through the Venus energy into the all women. And women here have special missions. They should grow, they should evolve in their consciousness, because our Master Peter Dunov, which creates the esoteric tradition, which now is one of the leaders all over the world into astrological development, says exactly this, that the evolution of humankind depends from this evolution of woman in her consciousness toward love and spirituality. And that's why this omen here is something super important, because it is visible to everybody that women should be very bright, they should be very powerful, they should be spiritual, and they should be not afraid from eclipsing forces, the dark forces that wish to eclipse situation of their beauty, power, and love and life. That's why we live in time where the natural processes into womanhood should be developed by spiritual advanced women. And this is very important for the future of humankind. Women should stop going into the direction where they conceive artificially. Women should stop going into the direction to give birth to the children by Caesar cut. Women should not use the powerful medical methods like genetic engineering, some fluids which transform people genetically. You know what I speak. And people, and especially women, should stay away from this aggressive medical methods. Why? Because the future of humankind, existing of the humankind like a biological process, depends from the women now. If they continue to conceive by a too much artificial way and to make birth too much by Caesar way, and they manipulate their genetics by some way, this is the dark way. And women should feel instinctively that if they go in this direction, this is the end of humankind. The life of this earth from humankind will end if this continues how to say, by aggressive way. Very interesting detail, like a vision, was explained by this great film Man of Steel about one of the, how to say, the symbols of American culture, Superman, where they explain exactly this. In one civilization, when they try to manipulate the way of birth too much, this civilization ends. This is the end of evolution of this civilization. And this is absolutely true. Why? Because the life, the source of love and the source of life is the woman, and how woman brings the life into this earth. And if women stop this process naturally and go to artificial way, this slowly will stop development of humankind. And that's why in our time we spoke about awareness, and this is one of the important awareness now. The idea for the fact that women should continue by natural way the reproduction into natural way. And here the new thing is what? That the women should conceive babies by spiritual way, by the idea of love of God, by the idea of merging the human form of love into the spiritual form of love, the divine form of love. With prayer, with the spiritual life, with the work to the babies during the pregnancy, prenatal teaching of the babies. This is the divine way. This is the life force that coming now through the second coming of Christ into the women way. Because second coming is not coming only into sciences, arts and so on, and human mind or heart and so on. Second coming is coming into love of humans too. We should return our love attitude, our understanding for love, our understanding how the child should be conceived into the hands of God. We should bring the energy, the creative energy which God gives to us to reproduce, again by sacred way to God, and to ask God to guide this process. Only by this position, the new evolution of humankind, the arousal of this sixth divine developed race of the Aquarius and sixth period will rise through this process, through process of conceiving by divine way the new children of the future. And exactly this omena shows directly that women should be bright in their consciousness, should be conscious in their consciousness, aware. And when they go through one examen, they should stay stable. And men here are very important to protect the development of woman towards spirituality in high dimensions. This is the divine knighthood in modern time. Men should be now the knight of spirituality, protecting and develop women. And this is the divine idea here, to free ourselves from all negative models of the past and to go openly into one higher consciousness toward love and development of humankind. Okay, this was the super important omena, which happened on 9th of November. And this is one picture when Venus was very bright after the eclipsing of the moon. I succeed to make two pictures of this, but unfortunately, technique do not help me to make the video, which was very important, but unfortunately it was not possible. And now we just going out from super important another omena, this time with the planet of man, Mars. Several times together with you, do you remember, Lada? We spoke about this super important omena.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the moment where Mars, for 3 days, calendar days, 17, 18, and 19, was eclipsed not from the moon, but from sun. And practically this is a little bit longer, like hours, from 1 day. It was a little bit smaller period of time, from 2 days practically, if we count the hours, but 3 days practically. And I think, and I explained that in the end of the First World War, this omen happened, and the war stops after weeks after this. In the end of Second World War, this phenomena happened again, and 6 months after this, the world stops. And the practical situation, when Mars is under the sun, sun is something like the divine filter from all energies that come from Mars. And this is the idea here. That's why I finish my ideas with the knighthood and the divine attitude of manhood toward women. Because into the month where Venus is super bright and was eclipsed by the moon, this is archetypical situation because moon and Venus are connected with womanhood energy in our world. Into the same month, practically 10 days or 9 days after, sun eclipsing the Mars, which again, sun and Mars are connected archetypically with the manhood energies. And this is a very important situation where only because the sun is the one very good icon of God, how Master Peter Donov explained, the sun consciousness is Christ consciousness, how Master and Rudolf Steiner explained. We understand that in this situation, the cosmos says to us, okay, now sun speaks in this situation. I am the Mars functionality in the world. I will eclipse Mars, the sun says, in this situation, but I will be the Mars in the world. Sun explained this. This is happening each time when sun eclipsing one planet or one star important on the sky. And in this situation, sun eclipse Mars, which explain, okay, the all negative functions of Mars will be stopped. Why? Because the divinity, the most evolved being in our solar system, the sun, work now. Mm-hmm. And this is exactly when one disciple go to one master and try something to do, but in one situation, master says, "Stop! I will show you what you should do," mm-hmm. And then master doing something. This is very interesting situation because it is really very good omen for the fact that it's possible. The second conflict, not the Israeli-Palestine, but the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, practically the conflict
first,
between.
You mean?
Yes, in this point of view, yes, the first. This is real problematic conflict that it's something like a war and aggression between two worlds. And this is much more closer to the possibility for a Third World War. And this omena, I think, shows that it is possible both of the conflicts to stop very soon. It means the conflict between Israel and Palestine people to stop after several weeks, because these conflicts never go too much. They do not have resources and abilities to make longer conflict. And the second conflict, which is really very problematic, it's possible till around 6 months, I hope, to stop at last. And we to enter into other new way of life, because this disturbs too much the whole humankind. And in this situation, of course, I explained that when one planet is behind moon or sun, we have extremum, which means maximum or minimum. And when I write this post before the eclipse, I explained that there will be, of course, negative influences, and we should know this. And what was the omen about the negative influences? The new moon, exactly before this process, shows the very powerful opposition between Mars and Uranus during the new moon. This is, I explained that the whole new moon and moon cycle after the 13th of November shows that there will be some problematics connected with aviation, and this is for the whole month. And be very careful about this. But opposition of Mars Uranus always produce some problems with the winds, not only with and storms. And this have ability to produce really powerful storms. And in what's happened in exactly the day of the Mars eclipse, here in Bulgaria, we felt cyclone, which was very, very strong. And into my life and life of my father and mother, we never saw cyclone like this exactly in the day of the eclipse. Uh, and this was really very strong. And I just understand that in Saudi Arabia or Abu Dhabi, there was powerful storm too. And this practically showed to us that Mars really, into the moment of this super powerful events, eclipsing of Mars through the sun, produced problematic cases too. Unfortunately, in Varna, 2 people dies from the winds, and so much trees are fallen, and that this is, I never saw this in my life. And
I think it's not just Bulgaria, everywhere the last 5, 6 days, because we're still the 21st. There were
yes,
storms, there are volcanoes, so many volcanoes in Mexico, in Italy, in Iceland, dormant volcanoes exploded, which is very Mars, Sun, and Scorpio, obviously. And not only that, there are lots of, not just in where you said in Bulgaria and in their, where was it, in Doha?
yes,
And there were a lot of places, Mexico, there was another hurricane now that's destroyed Acapulco or something. So it's been very turbulent the last few days all over the world.
yes. I wish to say practically that this new moon that happened on 13th of November shows that there will be more situation like this. But about volcanoes here, I should explain that volcanoes are very connected with the sun activity, with the magnetic storms. And I think the fact that we experience one mixed magnetic storm and artificially create aurora borealis, this produce a little bit too much volcano activities. They try to activate volcanoes in the days when the sun is super powerful. But I wish to tell something. The fact that soon we will enter into one situation where there will be model of the earthquakes. In the period of time of full moon on the 27th of November, and then on 20th of November, now in this period of time, there are omens which show that we entering in very seismic period of time too. And in this situation, I should explain what are the most important periods of time. And the new moon show exactly the fact that look, the new moon is very active now about the conflict between Israel and Palestinian people. And here into this region, it is very active again into Indonesia. We see here very problematic lines that have ability to produce cases of big earthquakes. One of the problematic lines cross Tokyo and Japan, and here into South America, we see here that the lines are very active again. And in the whole coast here, the western coast of South America, Alaska is very active too in this period of time. And practically these are the places which the new moon very importantly show to us what is the situation. And after this, the full moon situation show to us the picture a little bit different, but the case is very strongly connected now, unfortunately, with Bulgaria. One of the problematic lines of the full moon cross Bulgaria, and the situation around Turkey seismically is very active. Iran and people here north from Iran are unfortunately very active now by Cosmos. And practically the South America is activated too on the west place. This is, we should know that each year around the period in which we enter, the possibility for earthquakes become bigger and bigger, and this is scientifically proven, and we should be very careful in these cases. I try to manage the risk. You know that I till now predict around 70 earthquakes, and with the astrology this is possible. And I should say that we enter in the period of time with the code orange and code red globally, and especially on these places where I show the orange is the code is orange, and in some places it is red. And
But how long is that period from now?
unfortunately, the whole new moon and full moon shows that the whole moon cycle is very problematic. In my page and Facebook account and Twitter, I try to give exact the most problematic datums, which is like intensity of the seismic process too much there. And I will analyze the situation with the codes to the different regions. It means yellow, orange, or red. If you remember, Lada, 18 days before the Turkish earthquake, I was the first one which explained that between 2nd and 8th of February, there was not called red, but higher than this, violet red. in about Turkey, and I published this 18 days before, much earlier than my colleague from Netherlands. From this perspective, I wish to explain to people that we unfortunately enter into another very active seismically period, and the Earth
It's a
showed
whole
us.
month, pretty much a whole month, you're saying?
Yes, the whole moon month, it is very active, and in this period of time, the Earth showed to us that with volcanoes that she tried to minimize the problematic energy, but sooner or later there will be powerful earthquakes, and I try to focus the time where this is much possible than normal. Okay, and something other happened, which is really grandiose in December. This is practically a very interesting phenomena.
It will happen.
Will happen, yes, will happen into the December, 12th of December. This super important star, Betelgeuse, will be eclipsed by asteroid, and this is a very interesting situation because this star is very important for humankind, and interestingly, the asteroid name is 319 Leona. Very interesting information, somehow archetypically connected with this name, and maybe with the lion.
Does it mean that Betelgeuse will disappear, flicker out for a little bit?
It is the time here. It is this 12th of December, 01:17 minutes, universal time. This is universal time, Greenwich Mean Time. You should see this into your time zone. Practically, people which live from Central Asia to Southern Europe till the Florida and Mexico will have ability to see how this star will start to flickering too much. It will be, you will see the star, but it will flicker too much, not normal than how she stay like on the sky for around 1 minute around. And this is a very interesting phenomena, which is super rare. And to watch this on the sky, it is mind-blowing possibility to because you will see something that is maybe possible to be saw in one time per life. Okay, and what is the interesting phenomena here? Betelgeuse was the star which showed to humankind that something problematic with the epidemic situation will start several months before the pandemic with COVID. And practically, we saw this for the first time in written history. We'd never know that this is possible, that Betelgeuse become 50% lower like a light on the sky. And this happened months before the pandemic. Why it was connected with the pandemic? Because through the tradition of astrology, Betelgeuse is super powerful Mars star, and Mars is connected with the epidemic.
Epidemics, yeah.
Yes, and
yes,
and in this situation, we see here that Betelgeuse again gives some omen here, and interestingly, from the esoteric tradition of the Christianity, from Rudolf Steiner and Master Peter Dunhoff, we know something super important. What are the asteroids? Asteroids, my friends, in astrology are, from time to time, you may read so many interesting books about which asteroid goddess make this, what asteroid goddess make that. This is very, how to say, active into the astrology now in our days, but we should know the source of the asteroid. Esoterically, we know that humankind and the whole solar system survived one battle of the sky, battle of the gods.
Mm-hmm.
Which were these gods? This was the hierarchy of forces, angelic hierarchy of forces, which was commanded by divine source, by God, that they should split on two parts, the gods of good and the gods of evil. And they start the fighting process. And during the fighting process, the forces that lose the battle and slowly they become connected with the forces of evil, their bodies become asteroids. This
Oh.
is this is very interesting case. And why?
Asteroids are always negative energies.
Uh, not of course,
Well,
but
they give an evolutionary impulse, but through difficult events, kind of.
exactly. This is the case here that asteroids are deeply connected with the battle of the sky, battle of the gods, battle of the forces, and they always says to us in their influences that we should be careful in life to which part we go, to the part of good or to the part of dark forces. And look, the forces are good in principle way. They was how to say, put by God in this position to become negative forces. Why? Because the humankind need development, need how to say, polarized world of light and darkness, and that's why one hierarchy should sacrifice herself to become impulse of the darkness, and because humankind need freedom to develop itself into one free situation where every one of us have ability to choose where to go, into the light or darkness. And that's why we should know that the forces are always good, but they just sacrifice in one theatrical cosmic condition where they, for small amount of time, till the moment we need this,
For a
some
few
of them
million
only,
billion years, a few million
yes,
billion years.
several millions of years, in this period of time, part of this hierarchy, not the whole hierarchy, only part of it, they wish to, by God command, not by their wish, by God command, they should work for this negative influence in our reality. And in this situation, how we should do, what we should produce like a result. If we, in this free situation, we choose evolutionary path toward God, the mission of these forces that they took the part to become negative influence is fulfilled, and they have ability to return in normal divine position, because this is very advanced beings. This is much higher beings in their evolution, of their evolution, through angels, archangels, archais, and powers, Elohims. They are higher than Elohims, and the Elohims are written into the Bible when the world was created. And that's why it is super powerfully important now to understand that from our development, from our evolution, our freedom choice to go to spirituality and love to God depends, how to say, these forces that sacrifice themselves for development of humankind, they have ability through our help to finish their mission. But this is, of course, on the level of the whole humankind. And in the moment where one asteroid, which is connected with the moment where asteroids and comets produce the worst moments of our situation. More and more information come to us that Atlantis was destroyed by asteroid or comet.
Mm-hmm.
And from this information, the fact that the global flood, the biblical flood happened, connected somehow with the elements that come from these influences, how to say it, we understand through esoteric point of view why this happened, because the forces have this special mission. And now what this omen means, this means that something about this epidemic situations, about this artificially creation of two powerful pathogens is going again in some strange direction. Betelgeuse will make one making like this to us. Be careful with the eye of Betelgeuse. What this means, that the global government wish to establish her or it's practically the first ministerium, the ministerium of global health.
Ministry of, yeah, the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is they wish this, and they work about administration and law about this. And what is the concept here? They say if the pandemic happened worldwide, we, the global government, have power bigger than the power of the government of one country, bigger the police, bigger than army, and we have ability to come in one country and to do what we wish with the people for the saving of humankind of artificially created pathogens. Wow. You understand the jokes here. This is exactly how one animal is, with one hand you beat the animal, with another hand you give the reason to move by some food of this animal. This is very, very typical case where the dark forces produce the problem and they use the problem to put the humankind in one not nice direction of development. And that's why this eclipsing of Betelgeuse is it's important for us, because all people that are aware for the situation, we should be very active, working socially and to help our countries and our nations not to accept this how to say, medical fascism, which they try to produce, but they do not succeed, especially in Europe, where some free nations in their spiritual development was not possible to put in this direction. Not possible. And hopefully, humankind is now much more aware, because famous people spoke directly about this topic. Very interesting development was created by Elon Musk. We discussed several times our nice friend Elon Musk, which start to speak directly about these problems that we speak now. This is very interesting development. And something strange happened exactly into the day of the Mars eclipse. Of the day of Mars eclipse, when Mars was under the sun, Elon Musk, which wished to create one spaceship to go to the Mars planet and environment, he exactly in this day, he succeeded by second way to put his spaceship into the cosmos, which was mind-blowing success. And this, I think, is real synchronization, real omena, which explain in which direction will develop the humankind into the next years. And I told you in our discussion before the video that it is possible when humankind enter into the Mars environment, this
Into the
will
what? When they
Mars in the environment, in the nature of the Mars, like a planet, when humankind steps officially there and they start to live there.
land on Mars, I mean, yeah.
Exactly, and most probably under the Earth of Mars, this will produce spiritually huge events on development of humankind. Of course, positive and negative, but huge events. And somehow, these 20 years for which you spoke, I think this is one of the important context, one of the important detail that we should be aware. This going to Mars, and the fact that Elon Musk succeeds in exactly this moment, from my perspective, for development of humankind, is good omen. Why? Because Master Petr Dunov explained that in one future, men will be on Mars. They will live and work there, and they have ability to return or to meet their beloved one, women, after 6 months or something like this. And he explained that this is our future, and this will happen.
Why are they always trying for Mars? Why not Venus? Don't we want more of the Venus energy, not the Mars one?
Look, on Venus, you have ability to live only in the clouds, where the environments are normal, the temperature are normal, and you may live there with some balloons on in the clouds. But if you wish to go down to the Earth of Venus, to the soil of Venus, it's not possible. You will be immediately crushed. But on Mars, it is possible to go there and to live there and to survive there by special way, by special technologies. And this is part of the future of humankind. And we should become civilization on 2 planets, definitely. This is our development, and we need this. But from this, there will be negative influence too. And the negative influence is somehow connected with the fact that on Mars, there are civilization, there are human civilization, which are not on our development on the physical level, but maybe on etheric and astral level, most probably is on astral level. And this civilization is too much chaotic, too much making fights, to wars, and especially in the period of time when Mars is totally clouded by storm, global sandy storm. This happen from time to time on Mars. I think this is the moment where this astral civilization of humans on Mars make very powerful fightings globally. And when humankind directly goes there, humankind will receive some of these impulses, which is not so nice. That's why it is very important for us to develop spiritually and morally, and to stop this stupidity with wars between nations. This is not our way. This is not possible to grow cosmically and to continue with wars. This is not possible at all.
Well, even if the astral beings are having wars, what chance do we have? I mean, how do we have war astrally anyway? You hurl negative emotions towards each other, or
this is very true what you say. Let's practically we should grow, we should evolve a lot, and we need new places for playing and games and learning the lessons of life. And of course, we should protect the Earth, but we should grow to the Mars. This is our future. And what to say? This is very interesting situation. And something important other happened. This is the fact that on the 19th of December, exactly when the sun is in conjunction with the centrum of galactic sun, Alpheolo, we have Neptune occultation by moon, which will be visible around Australia. But all these occultations are very important, not only for the places where they are visible, um, of course, by telescope, because Neptune is not visible by naked eye, but they are important for whole humankind. For example, in the month where the one of the first occultation happened around September, you see the map. Practically in this period of time, plus minus 1-2 weeks around, Japan start to push out into the ocean radioactive water.
Yes.
And this was really very problematic situation. And when I explained that another occultation of Neptune will come, and this may produce the floods, powerful flooding everywhere, into Greece, into Turkey, into Bulgaria, into Libya, there was very powerful flooding.
Oh,
And
I remember
mm,
when Billy escaped, and that was the occultation of Neptune. So there is
exactly.
possible. So there is a possible. It was crazy. Like bridges were collapsing. The sea came in miles
You
inside.
you saw this personally?
Yeah, we were there. We were leaving from there. We ran away,
Mind blowing.
escaped the waves, and but so it's
Mind blowing.
happening again in December. So there's big danger of big water floods and
Exactly.
in a coastal.
19th of December. Yes, and strangely, we have one very big period of time of every month occultation of Neptune. This is several years, and I will give information on my Facebook page about this. I think you should see exactly each period of time. I will give you information how this synchronized into next 1-2 years. Maybe this will help to your lecture that you will make to the conference.
So
Okay,
Neptune
and
is close on the path of the moon currently. So every time the moon transit, wow, that means like big events of water for the next few years.
exactly, and interestingly, this is very, very close now to the place where practically we have the place of the uh, point of the spring equinox, which rules, how to say, the whole evolution of humankind. And if we see the situation, practically we have one omen here that this is important for the whole humankind. And in cases where moon is very close to to Neptune, we have always problematic situations. And when Neptune is eclipsed, this means, uh, of course, the forces of the fluids, water, become very extreme, very problematic. And but this is positive interpreted the moment where humankind have ability to grow into their psychological intelligence, because there is not only intellectual or emotional intelligence, there is a psychological and spiritual intelligence. And we have ability in these periods of time when Neptune is eclipsed by moon to grow our spiritual, archetypical, psychological abilities, and to how to say, to watch what's happened in our consciousness in these periods of time. And of course, practically the most important situation in December is the fact where sun will enter into the huge region of the galactic star, galactic sun from around which we circling for 230 million years. This is one star which is produced and created not from atoms but from stars. And each period of time between beginning of December, especially between 3rd of December till of 9 of January, practically we have the situation where the sun enters Alfiola. And this is always super important period of time for the growing of the spirituality and divine abilities of humankind and each of us. And especially on 19th of December, the same day when Neptune is eclipsed, Sun is exactly in conjunction with the galactic gravitational singularity, which is practically 4 million times bigger than the Sun. And this is Sagittarius star object, which is exactly in this period of time, which means what? That in the moment of when Sun grows and receive the divine energy from his source, Alfiola, the galactic sun, exactly in this moment, we should grow spiritually. We should expand our consciousness psychologically and spiritually because of the eclipsing of Neptune. And from this perspective, we have again super important omen, which it's very rare to synchronize these situations. And I think this is positive omen. Of course, there will be some problems with the nature elements, possible in this case, floodings or cyclones or tornadoes or some situation where the snow in the north hemisphere may produce problems. Into the southern hemisphere, this may produce very big floods. But the situation here is that if we work spiritually, this have ability to help us to grow in our consciousness. Okay, practically these are the important phenomena which we have ability to watch, and we analyze the very close phenomena in the past. But one of the world phenomena will be the fifth conference, European fifth conference, where Lada Duncheva will be one of the most important lecturers. And I advise all our friends that watch our video to come to our conference, because Lada is one of the women in this world now, which really have ability to help to whole humankind. Because from time to time on Earth appear women that are very bright, spiritual, and they should become muses. They should become inspirations to thousands and millions of people. And I think your work, Lada,
no.
I think your work, Lada, is very important to all
You're
humankind.
feeding my ego here.
No, this is not your ego. This is my spiritual vision towards you.
Oh, well, you're one of my teachers and one of my, especially on esoteric topics and astrology. And you can see every lecture with Filip, every video is not just him telling you a few omens, you're learning astrology from the highest level. I mean, this is knowledge that you're not going to find anywhere. The system, this knowledge, it comes from new esoteric and ancient esoteric school, which is being developed and translated by, again, people and scholars that Filip works with, plus the new astrology of Rudolf Steiner, the new astrology of new Christian esoteric astrology as we call it, occult astrology, that you will not see this anywhere else. But when you listen to Roman Kolev as well, Filipov, Trifon Nikolov, they are best friends and they're developing this together and they've been working together for years. So I'm very honored to be in your presence. I can't wait to be at this conference. I hope God helps me, because there will be such big names there. And I'm excited to
Totally.
see. Guys, it's like, it's $30 only. There is a link below in the description. Come and join us. I will be speaking on the 17th, but the topics are fascinating, ancient, modern, psychological, from all fields of astrology. These are scholars, these are big names. So
And Lada, you will be speaking in the day where the whole astrology will be forever changed. And I advise people to come to listen your lecture and to listen all lecture, of course, but especially on 17, because we will announce really super important information to all people that wish to, how to say, to grow on really high level in astrology. To from zero level, they will have ability to grow on really advanced levels. And with the help of people like you and all important lecturers that are connected with you, I think we have ability to make a next step. I do not feeding your ego. I just wish to tell you that women astrologers now, which develop spirituality into their practice and work, are the super important leaders for humankind now, and they should be helped from men astrologers. And that's why I consciously ask you to come. I really wish this to happen, your lecture to happen. Why? Because this is important for development of the for the whole. And your lecture only will speak so detailistic, so precise about the close future and next years. This is very important, and this will be unique for the whole conference.
thank you so much, Filip. The pressure's on. Please, God, give me insights.
It will. It will.
Thank you so much,
There,
everyone.
everything will happen by best godly way.
Thank you as for the amazing insights again, as a student of yours, as a fan. And please do come back more often to share your incredible omens.
Of course, for you and all your friends, I'll be here in the moment when your how to say, fans and students and people that wish to learn from you wish I to come again. Just call me and I'm here.
We'll read the comments. Let's see.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Filip. You're always much anticipated guest and much loved, and people always want to see you again, because your knowledge is unique. It's on the cutting edge of spiritual knowledge and astrology knowledge and what humanity needs to learn now. So thank you for your contribution. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a great day.